Welcome to a series I'm going to call Cashing Out, which is going to happen every time I build up enough Steam trading cards to buy a game, which is apparently a thing you can do. This game is called Refunct and cost maybe $3 at the time, which wasn't even all of my trading cards by a long shot, so I've still got some ways to go before I spend all of those. But anyway, I'm apparently in it. There was no menu or anything, so that's cool. I'm enjoying the water effects already. It's a very pretty game. Okay, that just changed colors a little bit. I guess it's grass now, it's fine. Alright. Wow, there's a lot of stuff down there, it looks like. That's gonna be interesting. Don't know how to jump exactly? It's not any of the usual buttons. Okay, that's duck. Oh, it's right bumper to jump. That's novel. Whatever, I'll roll with it. Well, can't really... Okay, I can sort of parkour up there, sure. Alright, cool. I've opened up a new area. So it seems like I can sort of climb up ledges. And oh, I can bounce off walls too. That's sweet. Feeling good. It feels kind of like Titanfall to me, except you can't see your hands. I'm actually really liking this. The music's a bit much for the actual action that's happening, but I'll forgive that. I can't really get down there. I guess I gotta get the cube first. Well, didn't do what I expected it to do, which is open that. Did it do something else while I wasn't looking? Oh, I see. I understand. Sick. Alright, I'm actually really liking this. This is very slick. This is a bounce pad, I want to say? No, elevator. Close enough. Alright, falling damage doesn't seem to be a thing yet, so that's good to know. How do I get over there? Kind of just jump, huh? Like, honestly, it's really simple, but just the elegant beauty that this game has is really impressive to me. It's not doing anything real fancy with the graphics. They're basically just cubes, but the lighting is really nicely done. Like, you can see here, there's not like any sort of crazy lens flare happening because of this wall. You can just see it bleeding over a little bit, and that's kind of a subtle touch that in a game like this you would expect it to be less subtle than it is, which I appreciate. Now there was a cube up here, I think. I can't really get to that. Alright, falling damage continues to not be a thing. I also really like the touch of the grass, because like initially it's kind of jarring that you step on something and then just like grass appears, but there is a particular reason for it. It helps you remember where you've been, and that's something that a game like this, where it's I think just like one level apparently, kind of neat. So I can see the shadows are moving, so I guess the sun is going either down or up. I didn't really notice that. I guess that's at the moon now. You know, now that I'm up here, it looks a lot less likely. Yeah, it turns out that's not actually possible. Oh, this looks interesting. Guess this goes over there. Oh, I'm just underwater now. Wow. Okay, I gotta say, this is fucking beautiful. And this is, I can just like go through this stuff, huh? Wow, I did not expect this game to be this pretty. But hot damn did it deliver. I still think I can get that, which is kind of frustrating, but I assume it'll open up eventually. Yeah, see, this is the kind of organic learning curve I really appreciate. This game has basically no instructions. It just puts you in here. But the fact that there's these two walls perpendicular to each other with literally nothing else around them really tells you what you need to do, because like you can't rely on the environment, so obviously you have to do some kind of interacting with them, and there's really only one thing you can do, and now I know that. Now I know the game will let me do that, and that's not trivial. Like, most parkour games wouldn't let you just sort of like hop up a wall like that, but this one does, and you don't really find that out until you try, so it forces you to try. Alright, this seems pretty... Oh, I bet I can go underwater to get this one. That just seems like something this game would do. But in order to do that, I think I need to actually find that pipe to let me go underwater in the first place. So it seems like you can't go underwater unless you have a pipe leading down. So there we go. Oh, it's such a good touch. I love it when games do that thing where you like go to a menu screen or go into a different environment and the music just keeps going, but the tone of it is different. And you can tell they've obviously muted down the music a lot. And not sure how to... Oh, okay, so this is another great thing. Okay, so the first time you encounter that pipe that brings you down into the water, you find out that you can go underwater by just like going into it. But after that, you sit on the water, you can't really go down on your own. But now this room forces you to figure out how to do it. Personally, I just assumed that you couldn't, and it was just that pipe, because that was the first and only time I had done that. But you can crouch while on water, and you go down. And like, the game only has 2 buttons, so I assume that like most games, you just tilt down and push forward and go down the water, but that's not how it works. And the game told me how to do that without telling me. That's just like fantastic learning curve design. What's really interesting, I think, is that even in a game as simple and straightforward as this one, you can really tell when someone knows how to make a game and knows how games work. And they're not doing anything fancy, but what they're doing is teaching you how to play without telling you how to play. And that's just really cool. Now, I kind of question the game's tag parkour, because it really isn't. I mean, you can run and slide and jump, and it certainly is more fun the smoother you do it, but it's not really like skill intensive. It's more just like looking for the path and then taking it. Alright, there we go. There's some parkour. The nice wall hopping motion, that's some prime Titanfall shit right there. Love that. Alright. Looks like something new over there. It's not quite the elevators you see, and I'm willing to bet this is a bounce pad. Yep, that is what that is. I wonder if the one underwater works too. I kind of doubt it. I feel like the water stuff is just there to show you what the future holds, and isn't really active. But it's kind of sweet. I love that it's just like there. Like, okay, I'm gonna keep saying like really emphatic things about this game, even though from a distance it really doesn't look all that great. But like, so many games like this, if someone were to make this, they would just say, okay, we'll just have the platforms come out of the ground, and they'll be completely invisible beforehand, because like, how do you show them, right? They're not something the player's supposed to interact with yet. But this game, they actually show them in a way that's really visual and like tells you exactly what's happening. There's an explanation for it. It's moving upwards out of the water, because that's how water works. Let's make a big jump here. Now that cube over there still really bothers me. I think after this button, I'm gonna go back and see if I can maybe figure out how to get it. Alright, so we got a cube. It sure is up here. There's no immediately obvious way to get up there is the thing, and... Oh, holy shit, okay. I keep underestimating this game and it keeps not paying off. Like, okay, so... Platform goes up. Now you're at the top. And when you're on the platform, you don't like bounce up off of it, because that would be really sloppy physics and it would feel not good. You would be able to control your motion as you leave the platform. So I assume, okay, it doesn't interact with your physical height as you jump. So I can try to jump from here to there, and I can't at the apex of the platform's rise. But I can jump as the platform's rising and get that physics boost off of it. But like, it's not necessary for me to know that yet, so they make that a cube, not a button. That's... shit, man. This game's clever. And like, I'm saying all this stuff because I've seen $3 and less games on Steam, and often they're really, really bad. Like, they're people who just sort of want to make a game, and it's their first try, or maybe their second try, and they just... They do what they've seen in games and what they assume to be how games are made, but they don't really necessarily think it through. And I could name names here, but I don't want to alienate any like new developers or whatever. But this game, every part of it, every single piece, feels like they knew what they were doing. And the fact that I was able to buy this with trading cards is fantastic to me. Oh, that's a yellow. That's a yellow button over there. It's probably the end of the level, I want to say, so I'm going to go around and look for some cubes. And we've done it. It's a heart. It's just pretty. Oh, you know what? I fucking really like this game. This was the most straightforward shit. It took no time to beat. And maybe if I had paid actual money for it, I would have been disappointed. But I didn't pay actual money for it. I paid trading cards. So you know what? Props to this game. You may have made something insanely short and insanely beatable, but it's so abundantly clear that you know how games are designed and what makes them tick that it was hugely enjoyable anyway. Like, I basically didn't do anything, but I had fun, and that's what games are for. So if you want a really small, really beautiful, fucking beautiful game that's maybe gonna last you half an hour, you could do a lot worse than Refunct. Hope you enjoyed. I know I did. And have a good night.